Final preparations are underway right now for the execution of Taberon Honie, set for midnight. This is the 8th execution in Utah since the reinstatement of the death penalty in 1976. Honie is set to die by lethal injection, a sentence imposed 25 years ago. That's after he admitted to brutally murdering his ex-girlfriend's mother, Claudia Ben. Now, we do have team coverage for you on this night. Jordan Tracy spoke to victims who've been fighting for justice for decades and what today's execution means to them. Arcade Gardner is at the Free Speech Zone down the road from the state prison, where protesters there have gathered to oppose the death penalty. But first, let's go to my colleague, Sarah Murphy, one of the media witnesses tonight. She's inside, just outside, actually, the Utah Correctional Facility in Salt Lake County. And Sarah, what's the latest there?
Well, hey there, Brian. As the clock is ticking, as the hours are slowly creeping here closer to midnight, reality setting in a bit here at the Utah State Correctional Facility. Myself, as well as my other media colleagues, were stationed here at the Stephen R. Anderson Memorial Building tonight. This is where we've been receiving our hourly updates from the Utah Department of Corrections. We just heard the most recent one moments ago at around 9:30, 9:40-ish. I want to share some of you the major updates they shared with us. We know throughout the day, Mr. Taberon Honie has spent most of his time visiting with family, with his daughter, with parents, with cousins and aunt, sisters. They've come in pairs, stationed, rotating throughout the evening. Guards have described Mr. Honie's behavior throughout the day really as gracious. They say, though, this is the major update we received, that changed around this evening. Mr. Honie said his final goodbyes to his family around 8:40 this evening. As you can imagine, they describe that as emotional. They say there were some tears. Some of them even report hearing Honie say to his family, "Keep your heads up." They say he even cracked a few jokes, and then he said his final goodbyes. Between the hours of 9 and just until recently, he had time to speak with a few of his attorneys. They describe his behavior during that time as jovial. At this point, as we speak, from now until 11:30, the Utah Department of Corrections tells us he will be on his own. They say this is for many reasons. Part of it is to have a bit of alone time to think of the emotional goodbye he just had with his family and let things kind of sink in and ponder what's going to happen this evening. Again, Brian, 10:02 right now. This execution is scheduled here just shortly after midnight, and we're feeling that reality here in the air, in the atmosphere, as things are getting closer here, Brian.
Well, let me ask you that, Sarah. You are one of the media witnesses tonight. So what's going through your mind as you prepare to go inside and watch the process unfold?
A good question, Brian. A lot of it is thinking of the emotions of Mr. Honie and his family himself. Each minute, each hour you see go by, you just know we're getting closer and closer. Throughout the day, we've all of the media witnesses have been working on our coverage, but as it's getting closer to midnight, as I mentioned, the reality is sinking in. The atmosphere seems a little bit heavier as we all recognize what we're about to witness here this evening. Things a lot quieter, a bit more somber, again, as we're getting here closer to midnight. They've told us they plan to take some of us media witnesses back around 11:30 or so. We're not allowed to bring anything in. They say they'll provide us with a pencil and paper. Again, this will be happening just after midnight here tonight, Brian.
A very controlled environment you'll be walking into. Sarah, thank you. I know we'll check in with you later. Thank you very much. Now, here's how Honie has spent the last few hours before his execution. He visited with family members 2 at a time, as Sarah said, including his daughter, mother, father, and 3 sisters. Honie visited by phone with a spiritual advisor. His final meal was delivered around 4:30 this afternoon. He asked for a cheeseburger, some French fries, and a milkshake, too.